Dustin,
Oh, God.
we still don't know who the Canucks are.
We love shooting ourselves in the foot. Like, numerous times tonight. Just gain momentum and then lose the momentum. Yeah, that not a great effort right at the beginning of overtime there. Possession is important. Gifted a chance to win the game there at the end after Juleson took an absolutely unnecessary, boneheaded high sticking penalty.
Mm-hmm.
When we had all the momentum and possession in Ottawa's zone after tying the game. So, just fun stuff. Just the usual home game stuff.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Give up another shorthanded goal with a absolutely beautiful back check effort by JT Miller. Sees Norris behind him and doesn't start backing up to play defense and just completely doesn't even try to get back on it at all.
Well, even on that play, it started off with Brock Besser not fighting hard enough for the puck on the faceoff.
Yeah. Petey wins the draw. Besser doesn't win the battle for the puck. Tries to make up for it by getting back as quick as possible. Miller pouts because we don't get possession and doesn't skate back, and Norris sneaks in the back door for a tap in on shorthanded. And it's just like, we got to get over ourselves. The guys got to leave this. If someone makes a mistake, that their perfect attitude at the door, because everyone's making mistakes right now. So to pout about it is not helpful. I don't know. I don't know what needs to be said to these guys, but something's got to give, because it just feels like there's no consistency with this team, and we just make stupid mistakes game after game that end up costing us.
The Canucks did manage to kill off 5 power plays.
Yeah, not saying much against the Senators' power play that has struggled mightily over this 7-game win streak that they've amassed. So they haven't had a power play goal in their last, I think, 10 chances before even coming to this game. So not saying much, but we will take that as a positive. Brock Besser, it's nice to have him get a couple goals and get the offensive monkey off his back a bit, but still some sloppy defense. Just mistakes that we shouldn't be making. And yeah, we I guess there are some things we can build on from this. We did generate 11 shots in the third period, which is nice, but we need to see that over the course of a full 60 minutes. These 20-minute efforts, 5-minute efforts, just aren't good enough. They're not going to get you even into the playoffs. And if their hope is to just limp through the regular season and not hurt themselves and try to get to the playoffs so that they have more energy, then they're going to be sorely disappointed when they miss by 1 or 2 points and are on the outside looking in come April.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, 11 shots for the Canucks in the third, absolute domination. They only allowed 2 shots against in that whole period, which is very impressive because we were talking so much smack about the Canucks who had only gotten 2 shots in the second period the other night. Out shooting Ottawa too, overall 25-19, right? So there is signs of positivity, but I'm just starting to think the same way that you are, is this is the most Jekyll and Hyde team that I've seen. And that's why the title of the stream today is, will the real Canucks please stand up? Because yeah, Brock Besser had 2 goals. He also looked like garbage the rest of the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can sum it up in just the Juleson play. Makes a great play up the boards, has no reason to finish that hit. Decides to go through with the hit with his stick up high, takes a 4-minute penalty. It's moments like that where it's like, just use your brain.
Sometimes it's hard to use your brain.
Yeah, I guess so.
The
The helmets must be too tight or something nowadays. Cut off the blood circulation.
yeah, 28 hits for the Canucks. So I mean, another big hitting night, almost 10 per period again. That's pretty much the par for the course for the Canucks.
Mm-hmm.
Claude Giroux taking that interference call on Pettersson while on the power play. Does Giroux have any right to be complaining about that, or is that just a straight up interference call?
It's a straight up interference call, and it's nice to get one after quite a few were missed throughout this game by the officials. The Canucks should have had a couple more chances on the power play. Also, what is with officials in the NHL now changing their mind when they call a penalty? We've seen it happen a couple times this week. Saw it happen with Tortorella in Philadelphia there. Stripe's arm went up to call a penalty. They even pulled their goalie, and then the official decided to change his mind, and his arm went back down. We saw that today at the end of the second period. It appeared we were going to be going into the third on the power play when we came back from the intermission stuff. Talkett was having a pretty heated conversation with the officials there, wondering where the penalty went.
Just went, huh, poof.
Oof.
Somebody threw a ninja smoke bomb down and it disappeared.
Yeah. Smoke bomb.
Interesting one tonight. The 3 stars. Pinto, the 2 goals and 1 assist. Thought he could score again when the whistle had already been blown. Quinn Hughes, 1 goal and 2 assists, 3 points. And then Sanderson, 1 goal, 2 assists, also 3 points. So the 3 stars are 3 players that have 3 points. We saw that earlier in the season. Obviously, Quinn Hughes probably deserves to have second and third star of the night, if you ask me.
He wanted it, and I just don't understand how so many of our guys can stand around and watch him play the way he does and not give that extra effort. It just blows my mind.
It's funny because there's been a couple memes now where essentially it's like, hey, Quinn Hughes is just like asking Miller and Petey like, hey guys, can I get some help? And then Petey's like, I want to be on power play 1.
Yeah, and you saw Talkett trying to get them going, put Petey and Miller out there in the 4-on-4 at the end of the third, but I don't know. We got one more game here before Christmas, and then I would imagine shortly after that freeze ends, there will be a trade coming because we need to change something. And we know that Alvin and Rutherford won't be looking at this, knowing that it won't be going far as a contending team with the current lineup. Because this is our forward group. This is who we have as for forwards. So if we can't find offense and if we can't find ways to score, then we need to make a trade. Because we're not getting any reinforcements other than maybe Lecker can come up, but he's a rookie. He's not going to save us. So either our stars got to figure it out, or if this rift is really so bad that we can't, then one of them has to go.
Are Forbort and Desharnais the slowest defensive pair in the entire NHL?
Oh, I guarantee.
Because that's just not a pair that's going to be conducive to winning when you can't get the puck out of it. Like Forbort, I think, failed to get the puck out of the zone like 3 times on that penalty kill.
Yeah, and we talked about it in the intermission as a down, like that when Juleson failed to get the puck out, that led to the first goal and kind of the second goal as well. So, we need defensemen that can move the puck. They don't even need to be offensive minded. They can be 2-way defensemen, but we got too many guys that are used to just being the stay at home guy, and their job is just stay in front of the net and don't let the puck go through. They haven't really been the guys to move the puck up the ice over their career, and the lack of that on our blue line is showing, and that has a lot to do with our offense struggling as well. Because if you can't get fast breakouts and clean breakouts from your defense coming out of your zone, then your offense is going to struggle. So it all just is a domino effect. One thing I found strange was starting Lankinen when Demko had 3 days rest. Hopefully maybe he's sick or something, but if he's hurt, he wouldn't be backing up. So I'm not sure what what happened with Lanky getting the start tonight. But yeah, I don't know. I thought we were gonna fight back in that one. There was some shades of the Canucks wanting it,
But
but
they
then
did
just
want it,
silly
Dustin,
mistakes.
and they did fight back multiple times. They just
They
then gave
did,
up
and then
again.
just continuing to make mistakes that cost us.
That's the thing. That's why it's like this has been the story all year. We talked about it last game. How many times have the Canucks played a 60-minute game? And we said 2, right? And the
Yep.
rest of the time, this is what we get. This is the most Canucks season I think I've ever seen so far in watching, because we always talk about Canucks logic. Nothing makes sense. Everything's chaos. Backup goalies beat us. Hall of Famers get their milestone points against us. And that's literally what we're seeing is the Canucks will be absolutely dominant for an entire 20-minute period, looking like they're skating off for the win. And then the next period, they look like they're an AHL team or a Pee Wee hockey team, right?
Yeah. Well, and then watching the Ottawa Senators, it's like having PTSD flashbacks to the Travis Green era of get a lead and sit on it.
Yep.
And then the other team comes back and then get a lead and sit on it. And yeah, so they almost found a way, but obviously losing the drop in overtime led to a quick breakout by Ottawa and another loss on the card.
Yeah, and just bad defensive coverage in overtime too, right? Like when you're in 3-on-3
Yeah.
overtime, it's man-on-man coverage, right? That's what you
Mhm.
should be
And
doing, and that's not what they did.
no, you can't lose your guy, and you can't be coasting, and you can't be doing any flybys, and you can't leave Quinn hanging to do it all.
Yeah, the Canucks face-off dot was terrible tonight. JT Miller at 53%, 8 for 15, and then Pius Suter 4 for 8, and then everyone else was trash. Pedersen 5 for 13, Teddy Bluger 5 for 13. Yeah, those are your main guys. And then Sherwood took 2, lost them both. Connor Garland took 1, lost it. I'm not going to be blaming those guys who didn't win it because they're wingers coming in. But when you're looking at Bluger, who's now on a consistent base and below 40% in the faceoff dot, even Pedersen, who usually is pretty good in the dot, ended up getting trounced tonight. What do they need to do? Do they need to have Malhotra come up from Abbey and do maybe a faceoff clinic?
Possibly, or maybe get call Ratu up for a practice and get him to just work with the centers and show them some stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got to be, but we do have to be better in that department because possession is so important in the modern NHL with parity being what it is and speed being what it is. You gotta win those faceoffs.
If you could have one thing improved for the Canucks, would you have them improve their faceoffs or their ability to take the puck back from teams?
Ooh, it's tough because we do generate a lot of giveaways and takeaways. But we lack possession more often off the drop. So I think we got to improve our faceoffs first and foremost. Because if you win the faceoffs, you don't have to fight for the puck as often and you have more energy. And when you're controlling the play, it's a little easier on your legs. So winning the faceoff goes a long way for the pace of the game.
I feel like I'd rather have them develop a better forecheck, but now that you've said what you said, I'm kind of doubting what I want because I'm doubting everything now because nothing makes sense when you watch Canucks hockey.
That's what I mean. It's split right down the middle. Honestly, they do need to be better on the forecheck as well. They need to be faster and they need to make it more difficult on the opposing defenders. But at the end of the day, if you're gaining possession off the draws, you're going to drive the play more often. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other, man.
Thinking Carlson gets sent down pretty quick here because he's looked pretty ghost-like out there for the 2 games he's been up for.
Yeah, he definitely will get sent down. Di Giuseppe, I think, will be up here for a bit. We saw again why he was brought up so quickly after only playing 4 games this season so far down in Abbey. Um, Great forechecking. He was probably our best forechecker today,
Mm-hmm.
and generated a couple of the goals with his work down low. So Definitely, probably one of the stars that you won't see on the 3-star sheet, but definitely had a very strong game tonight.
It's not delivery, it's Di Giuseppe. Carlson ending up with 9:23 in playing time, and then Di Giuseppe ending up with just over 13, I believe. If I remember correctly. Where is he on here? Yeah. Just under 13, so 12:36. So 3 minutes more than Carlson got. And I don't think Carlson saw much playing time in that third period either.
No, I would expect Hoglander to draw back in for Carlson on Monday.
And probably come in with some fire lit under his butt too, right?
You would hope.
If you're changing the lineup right now, what are you doing with line structure?
Right now, I'm putting Bluger, Garland, and Joshua back together.
Mhm.
Try and spark that. With Hoglander coming back in, maybe put him with Petey and DeBrusque. Maybe he has some energy.
Mhm.
We then you could put you got Di Giuseppe playing with Besser and Miller. That line has had a good, decent night.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you can get more out of Besser defensively. And then you got your fourth line of Suter and Heinen and Sherwood doing all your checking down low.
Mhm. And then are you thinking maybe Branstrom gets back in the lineup for either Desharnais or Forbert, or are you thinking that he still sits on the bench or sits in the rafters?
I think Brandstrom comes in, but I think he probably comes in for Juleson. After some of the mistakes that Juleson made tonight, it's time for him to have a night off. This is kind of what Juleson does. He has a stretch of some decent games, and then when he has had too many games in a row, he starts to make questionable decisions. And he led to 2 of the goals tonight for sure, and had the high sticking double minor late in the game. So I would expect him to be the guy that comes out on Monday.
Yeah. You crazy son of a bitch. You donated $150 tonight.
Who did that? No way.
You're going to put Dobby through college all on your own, brother. We really appreciate it.
Hey, man, I appreciate you and giving me the opportunity to join you each game when I can, obviously. Um, I didn't know I had a passion for analyzing and kind of broadcasting hockey and talking about it live like this. Um, I absolutely look forward to every single game and love what we're doing together and the chats we have, and has kind of reignited a fire in me to watch more closely and analyze across the league as well. And I just, my way of saying thank you and Merry Christmas, and here's to some bigger and better things for both of us.
Well, you're very good at what you do, brother. I can say that for certainty, and everyone in the chat agrees with me. Like I've said before, we brought you on because you're a guy I know. I wanted to test the technology out because nothing is perfect as brand new this season, and you were too good, so I couldn't take you off the team. You earned your spot immediately, and that's why literally every single game that you're available, we have you on for the first intermission and the post game show, and that means I only have to book one guest every show, which makes my life a lot easier as well.
Well, I appreciate it, and thank you for those kind words. And have a great Christmas, and we'll talk to you on the. I'll be back on the 28th.
Yeah, I'll be against the afternoon game against the Kraken on Saturday, the 28th at 1 p.m. We'll be having an afternoon game that day in Vancouver too. Kind of a weird one with Seattle and Vancouver playing at 1 p.m. on the West Coast.
Well, we'll have the eggnogs and rums going.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea. Awesome. Well, Merry Christmas, Dustin, and well, like I said, I'll see you on the 28th.
You as well, and Merry Christmas to everyone out there in chat, and thank you for all your support, and we'll talk to you soon.
Nothing is perfect.